Hello and welcome to Families Made Differently. My name is Bex Baker and my family is made differently. We are a family made through adoption. Each month we have guests who come onto the podcast and share their experience as a family made differently. We hear stories from adopters, foster carers, kinship carers, and we also hear from people who work with and alongside families made differently. If you are in fact a family made differently, please do get in touch to share your story. We look forward to hearing from you. Hello and welcome to Families Made Differently. Very exciting to have my dear husband back because it's July and this is just your month, isn't it?
Apparently so. That's all right. I'm always happy to be here and be invited on to your incredible podcast. Thank you for having me.
Well, that's very kind. I thought we'd just tackle some big adoption topics rather than anything about our story in particular. Obviously, our story and our experience comes into these topics. We're going to start off by talking about managing transitions because this is obviously a very big area in adoption because a lot of our children, care experienced children, struggle with transitions. Mostly because they had far too many of them that completely shake their entire worlds.
Yeah.
So then even the small ones become trickier for them, and just because sometimes they don't know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, just imagine going into every different transition wondering if, the next time a transition happens, is this the one where the people I'm living with now, are they now going to go away, or am I going to be taken to a new home, or is what loss am I going to experience at every little transition? And that can be even from going from play to meal times. There is just that underlying trauma that creates anxiety that for us doesn't seem to make sense, right? It doesn't, we wouldn't connect it to, especially for small children, but even as they're older, while there is trauma there connected to loss and transitions, and even a simple transition is reigniting some of that trauma, isn't it?
Absolutely. From your experience and our children, what skills have you gotten to managing transitions? What works? What is on the list to try in the future?
The big one that we've tried lots is just over explaining and preparing and kind of a countdown for most transitions that are going to happen. As I said, even the simple ones like going from playtime to lunchtime. So we know for our son that can be a big thing. Once he's in something he likes, he really does not like changing from it, and I think it worries him going from one thing to another that he's not going to like what he goes to next, and so that's a real worry for him. So we've tried a lot, haven't we, to over explain what is going to happen next and what is happening in the day and what does this mean. And I don't know, it's hard sometimes, you don't know how successful these things are because we've tried to do that from the start, and so we don't have the balance of, well, what would it have been like if we hadn't been trying that. But part of me also thinks it would probably be far worse if we hadn't been preparing him and talking to him about what was happening. We've just had a fairly decent big house move, and our daughter, for example, we've been talking to her about this particular transition. We've been talking to all of them about it a lot, but for her and her teachers at nursery have been really great at this. It's been talking to her about this move. She keeps on bringing it up, but saying, who's coming with us on the move? Let's talk about who's going with. And the teacher's been amazing, saying, okay, so who's going to go with you? Is mummy going with you? Yes. Is daddy going with you? Is your brother going with you? She's kind of running through the list of important people, basically driving home that point of this family you're part of is not changing. You're just moving somewhere different. And that's been really great, trying to do that with her support. I don't know, what other things have we tried to do? Countdowns. Try to do lots of countdowns. So, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute. And you can be a little bit loose with that in terms of, how long 1 minute really is. Because that's just the case sometimes when you're leaving a park or something, you might want to leave fairly quickly. Or you could be having a really great time and you're really trying to give them a little bit of extra just breathing space to be ready for it. So it's not this big traumatic event when park time is over.
Something we haven't tried, but I've heard is like a good tool, and the schools, which we'll get to in a minute, that we've spoken to have mentioned a few times, is having like picture routine charts where they have a picture for what's coming next. And we tried that actually when we were with your parents. I mean, our kids weren't that fussed by it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was just our kids are still too young for it, or it
I
just
kind of
didn't
think it
really
went over their heads a little bit.
Yeah, it just wasn't as impactful.
But it could also be the fact that we've not been doing that for them ourselves. So it was a brand new thing. They didn't quite get the relevance of it.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that it isn't very worth trying for other people, or other people won't have had success with that method already.
That was in our training, and I've heard people having real success with it.
Like,
But
the same age children or just
I
older?
don't. Yeah, you see that bit. I don't know.
See, that's interesting. Yeah.
Because that's why I'm like, I don't know why our kids just didn't really respond to it.
But that's how it goes, isn't it? I guess different children will respond to different types of transitions and different types of aids for transitions, and that's just how that applies for everything, I guess, isn't it? You don't know what techniques or strategies your children will respond to or react to the best, and so you just have to try a little bit of everything. And I also think that we change it up every now and again too. It's almost like they stop being impacted by that type of transition aid or strategy and need a new one, which is exhausting. I find that really hard, trying to keep on top of what we're trying to do and how we're trying to do it this time, and that can change month to month sometimes depending on what's working, what's not.
I think it's also interesting, like, thinking about our most recent major transition, which was obviously the house move. It was a really successful transition. The kids weren't overly thrown by the house move because we'd prepared them so well, but then we made the mistake of not preparing them for you going back to work.
Yeah, I was thinking this has been the big one, hasn't it?
Yeah, so it was kind of like we got one of the halves right, but we didn't get the half that probably seemingly was a bigger impact, right?
Yeah, our kids have had me at home for a while now, and they've just got so used to that. And I think we forget that we can process that, okay, there's a period of time here where this is going to be the case, and then it's going to change again. And that's okay, it's a small part of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
It's a giant chunk of theirs.
And I guess maybe this first little week or so of us being moved kind of probably feels a bit like a holiday. So I know we're not through the potential.
I still feel kind of like we're just in a holiday home. I was chatting to this family this morning, last night, and it still feels a little bit like we're in a holiday home because we're not unpacked. We're not trying to be right now because we're hoping to move something a little bit more permanent. It's hard, if that's how I'm feeling, that this isn't home where we are right now. Home still feels like it's in our previous lovely place that we've just left.
Yeah.
And if that's how I'm feeling, I imagine how the kids are feeling too about the whole situation on that front.
But that's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm like, maybe they're still in we're kind of almost just on, even though they know it's forever and we've told them it's forever. Or in theory, they know it's forever. But I wonder if it's but Dad doesn't go anywhere while we're on holiday. So why is he off at work? Because usually when we go on holiday, he's at home. And then the other part of it is also they have only just finished nursery, and usually they don't really have large spells of nursery when they're at home. So, and when you're working. Yeah. Usually if they're off nursery, you're off work. Yeah. Even when you are working.
Because they're year round in nursery, wasn't it? That's what we were doing.
That's what we were
they were always in. Even in summer holidays, they were still in. Whatever holidays, they were still in because they love it, and it was a great routine for them. So that was good. But you're so right. When they are home all the time, it's because we're on holiday, or we're at home at holiday, whatever we're doing, and then Dad's there with them.
Yeah. So this is Dad gets to go away to work, but they have to stay because they're not in school or in nursery right now.
I remember when our oldest was very little. I mean, baby, and we lived in a maze that, so first floor of a house, and we had steps going down to our front door, and a stair gate at the top of the steps. And every day there would be this little routine of trying to give him some comfort and kisses through the stair gate as he was bawling his eyes out watching me go. Or trying to, if he was settled and okay, trying to get out and down the stairs before he even realised. And I wonder if there's something we need to do there to create some sort of routine for waving me off to work. I think the same for coming home. I think when I come home, you should probably have the kids lined up all nicely. One with a brownie, one with a cup of coffee, one with, a bunch of flowers every day. Yeah. I think they would really appreciate that.
And they need to be showered with their hair done.
Yeah, Sunday best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think you're living in a delusion. You're lucky when they're just alive at the end of the day.
But I think there is something in the leaving to work that we should do more working out to make a routine, and I guess that's another great way to help with transitions is have a routine.
Have routines, yeah.
And so we need to work out what that is. Maybe now that they're all a bit older, we ask them what they want to be in the routine. Yeah. That could be interesting.
Well, based on what our eldest was saying today, I would imagine it'll be, I want to walk you to work. So, I mean, maybe that is it for now until we move to our permanent house, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
So, well, we kind of already mentioned it, but obviously we've moved house, moved jobs, so we've had to choose schools.
Yeah.
And it's actually, our oldest is just starting school, so it's all new for us really. But what are some of the things that we looked for in a school, and what were some of the focuses that we highlighted as important?
One of the things that we looked out for was the particular environment and what it was looking like and how it felt to be in it. We know for our son, he needs space. He's got a lot of energy. He needs space to be able to move and run around and explore and be creative in that way. And the place where we found to have that in abundance, I feel really confident, having been in there, that they are set up to use the space that they have to allow that bit of freedom when it's appropriate for the kids to move around. And so it's identifying the sort of space that your kids need, because maybe what they need, and ours don't so much, but maybe other people's children will need a really good quiet space,
which the school we chose has that.
Interestingly enough, and maybe typically for our son, he went straight to the toy digger that was in the quiet space. It was like, oh yeah, can you put batteries in this? And so the head teacher said, yes, I'll put batteries in it next time you come. I'll put this toy off to one side. I thought that was very cute. I don't know if he'll follow through with that. I think Toyin will probably remember, and they'll have to learn this about him. I think our son will probably remember, because
his memory is insane.
Yeah, so he'll remember that. There's those elements. They've got really good outdoor parts as well, because I know that's something that lots of schools, depending on where you are in the country or city or somewhere else, outdoor may be something that they just don't have access to. And knowing the space they have, like multiple different outdoor spaces, that's so good. That's going to be brilliant for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
For all of them when they get in there.
Another thing we asked the school about was their experience and training around the impact of loss, attachment and trauma. Every care experienced child has some level of trauma and loss, and occasionally also attachment issues. So yeah, I think asking schools around that specific area and their training in it is really important. And yeah, the school we found, they were on it. It's a small school, so they don't have a truckload of kids in the school that are care experienced, but they have experience and they have key people, and those roles are very specific.
It's called being trauma informed. So.
Yeah.
And so you asked some really good questions about that, and actually I was so impressed with how the head teacher answered those questions. So that was such an important thing for her to know, that they would be able to handle and understand and best respond in a way that's going to help our children grow and develop, in a way that they would be able to have empathy and understand what was actually going on, and to see past whatever surface behaviour might be happening in that moment to the root kind of causes underneath. That was a really big one too. Yeah.
Pupil premium as well. We're based in England, so our schools obviously get pupil premium for our care experienced children.
I'd be really interested to hear from other people how their experience of pupil premium has gone. So obviously this will be something brand new for us. And a list of things that are on the school that they say they do with their pupil premium and is available to be done with it is fairly comprehensive. It's a decent long list that covers a multitude of different angles and ideas or whatever. But I'd be really interested to hear from other people on that one, that how they feel the various schools that their children are in or have been in have used pupil premium, in what ways it's been done really well or not well. I'd be really interested to find out.
Yeah, it is interesting, because sometimes it can just be thrown on free school meals and just not really done anything with. But interestingly, the 3 schools we visited, emotional literacy and well-being was one of the things. If your child's struggling in that area, they will surround them by extra resources to support that development, to ensure that they're emotionally in a really healthy spot. And then once that is kind of ticked off, and that's why we ended up choosing the school, because they didn't just list off the 3 things, they kind of set it in almost order of what they would do, because an emotional healthy child and a happy child is the best child in order to be able to learn. So there's no point jumping to any other step if your child's not emotionally in a really good spot. So that's why that's one of the reasons we chose our school. Emotional well-being, and then it was educational after that. So if they're having any educational struggles or struggling in any way, they will add extra support with pupil premium money to support them in that way. And then the final one was just like extracurricular, really. So your wants rather than your needs. So they make sure the emotional needs are met, the educational needs are met. And then if the child's soaring and there's pupil premium money, they then go to, I guess, the wants, which are like, they can be school trips, but that also could be a need, because if family literally can't afford it, or after school clubs to get an instructor in to help them learn a musical instrument. It just felt like a good progression of these are the things and these are the steps, so we'll make sure. So we can't just go in and be like, we want our kid to learn piano. It's like, but their emotional well-being just isn't up to scratch for them to be learning really well. They would be like, no. Because they're like, we have a plan and we know how we want your kid to develop in the best way possible for them. So
I think one of the things that I looked out for was, and we kind of touched on it a little bit, but just how they responded. So we were open with them and told them that our children were adopted, and hearing about how their trauma-informed responses were laid out and etc. But that also, that just initial response to that, was it going to be kind of calm and collected? Was it going to be taken in their stride? And it's like, okay, that's not a problem. We get that. We understand what we can do to help here. Or was it going to be completely overwhelmed and be like, oh, okay, no, I've not come up against this before. And that will always be, for a teacher, that someone will always be their first experience of an adopted child, for example. But it was encouraging in this case that actually this head teacher was very calm about it. Felt very settled and confident in what she was saying, and that was really encouraging for me.
2 of the 3 schools I visited as well, they both had people of significance who either had adopted children or who had fostered. They had like significant like levels of hands-on experience. So the next topic is one you raised that you wanted to speak about specifically, which is preparing significant adults. So I'm just going to let you lead the conversation on that.
And this isn't just about kind of school and stuff that we just talked about, but it's through the whole process. I remember the training part we went through. One thing we were told about was, don't tell your family too much, because you are already introducing them to the idea that you'll want to bring this child into your family, either adoption or even fostering, and you want them to be excited for you and come on this journey with you, obviously, but it's really emotional and hard on yourselves. And so what you need are family and close people around you who are going to be so supportive, are at least a step removed, so that they're not going through any emotional turmoil and ups and downs and a roller coaster that you might be going through. I feel like if you end up bringing family in too quickly and too soon and too behind the curtain of everything, you end up having to manage their emotional response to what's going on. You just need your family to be supportive of you, and you don't need at that point for you to be having to support them.
Are you talking more like secondary trauma? Is that what you mean?
No, I mean when you're... So I remember when our first son was on his way, we didn't immediately tell people about it until it was really happening. Because there's an element there of, what if it hadn't happened, but we'd gone and told all our families about it, and then a grandparent comes back saying this real extreme sense of loss that the whole thing's happened. But this way, even if it had fallen down, we could have told them about it and they could have loved and supported us. But it also means, though, whilst you're also trying to keep them at kind of arm's length a little bit, you have to work out how to have those really difficult conversations with them to prepare them to the correct level for these children coming into our lives. And especially I think for fostering, or when children are coming at an older age than our kids, that's got to be a really tough conversation to have. You have this child coming into your family with all these additional different needs, whether it's trauma related or educational or whatever. Our parents didn't sign up for this, we did, and I think that's the case for lots of people. The family that's going to be surrounding this foster child, this adopted child, this kinship child, whatever, aren't as equipped or trained or always prepared or up for the child that's going to be put in their family. And so you need to have these conversations with them beforehand that aren't too upfront, so that you end up having to carry their emotional baggage, but also are in depth enough that you can do a little bit of equipping and training for them, and at the same time not too much, because it's the child's story as well that you don't want to tell. And I was just thinking about this when you were asking about topics, and it's such a complex little situation, because it applies for schools in this case, where we've got all these teachers, etc. How much do we tell them that we're not taking their story and just spreading it too far and wide where it doesn't need to go, but at the same time that we're not telling teachers too little so they aren't prepared enough. Because if we know information about our children that will help the teachers to help the kids, then they need to know that. But that is such a fine balancing act to get that right. How much do you tell people, whether they are professionals or if they are family? And it's such a knife edge to get that right.
I was just thinking, like, some of the things that we've obviously had to do is like preparing family members, I guess mostly, and nursery staff about like certain like lines and boundaries. So like our daughter went through this phase of so she would be handed a full plate of food, she'd walk straight over to the bin and put it in the bin and ask for dessert or like yogurt or whatever the like second course was, and the nursery staff were just like, what? Every kid, it doesn't matter what level they eat, they get the next course because that's just the fairest way they can do it. Well, at home, if you don't eat your dinner, there's no dessert, there's no yogurt. Once they realized that was our rule, they could then establish that. We discourage screen time, and we're very clear with our boundaries with like when people look after our kids, when our family have them over, do not use screens. There will be repercussions. You do not want the repercussions. Just don't do it.
Not worth it.
Yeah, like the dysregulation that follows screen use. Honestly, we promise you the hard work of not using screens is less hard than the post-screen dysregulation.
Yeah.
And like the amount of times it gets ignored.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, and then they have repercussions. You're just like, yeah. But it's stuff like that you also are trying to prepare everyone on routine, and if you stick to the routine, the dysregulations is limited. If you don't stick to routine, there's more, as we said about transitions, like there's more dysregulation. And so it's just trying to manage all the expectations and all that with significant adults as well.
Yeah, and I was thinking on the flip side of that, what advice would I give to a significant adult in a child's life? The big one I had was keep on asking the foster parents, kinship carers, adoptive parents questions, because we are well prepared enough to say no and gently end a conversation when there's a line or a barrier there, and we're not offended when we have to do that. I would much rather that the people around me ask questions, and eventually if it got to a point where I think that's something that we kind of won't share because that's part of their life story that's really important for them to be able to share with you if they feel comfortable to. We only get to that point if you're asking questions. So I just want to keep on. I want to encourage any extended families out there who don't know what to do or what to say, who don't feel particularly prepared. Go and ask questions and to not be afraid. You aren't going to make things worse by asking questions. You are opening the opportunity to learn so that you can better interact. If you feel like there's part of something that in your relationship with this child that isn't quite working or whatever, ask and talk about that issue with the parents or the foster carers, because the only way it gets better is through conversation and not being afraid to ask the questions and not being afraid of the answer being I'm not telling you. It's totally okay when that answer happens.
Focus your questions on current day questions, like ask about the here and now. Don't ask about the past because that's life story. So just don't even bother because that's just you being nosy. That's not actually necessarily helpful.
It's like, I wonder if that's got something to do about their previous scenario. That little kind of like, it seems really innocent and you might talk about it with other people, but it's actually is trying to dig into their life story. It
is just being nosy. And then the other thing is like, so focus on now and now where we're at. Ask questions rather than ask, oh, what happened before, or why did they do this? Just like ask, oh, how can we support you, or what do you do in order to support the child with this behavior or with this dysregulation?
Continuing the same routine and discipline that is in the main home as could happen in yours is always going to be beneficial. So if our family were a bit stricter on following the kind of no screen rule that we do, then actually it would be more beneficial all round. But that's just one example.
No, absolutely. It was interesting though, during our adoption training they very much specifically said like grandparents can't just be grandparents in the same way as like your traditional grandparents that break all the rules and do their own thing. That's not the role of your grandparents.
That isn't what your grandkids need from you. And that might be what you always imagined and so looked forward to your kind of grandparent-grandchild relationship being. But actually, your grandchild, whether that's adopted or even like a foster grandchild, like that's not what they need of you.
They need the boundaries, they need the structure. It's what tells their bodies that they're safe. Well, that is the end of our topics. Is there anything else you wanted to add, Jack, before we finish?
It can wait until next July. That's not a problem.
Yeah, you're in my schedule. July 2027.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. Thanks for having me on again.
No worries. Please make sure that you follow us on Instagram and turn on your notifications wherever you listen to your podcasts. Families Made Differently releases a new episode on the first Friday of each month at 9 a.m. Please comment on the podcast or slide into our DMs with your favourite bits, what inspired you, any questions you have, or if you too would like to be involved. We really appreciate your listening ears and continued support. This was Families Made Differently, the podcast designed to share stories from Christians in the UK whose lives and families have been shaped by fostering and adoption.